Welcome back. It's Sports Tonight. We're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. We're taking a look at updates in our world of sports and, of course, try to catch up with everything that is also happening. We've talked about polo, the first edition of the Lux Afrique Polo Championship that was done in London. We loved it. It came out with a lot of class. And so we like the fact that it had a touch of Africa in it while announcing Africa to the world and, of course, paying respect to the late Madiba, says to support the Nelson Mandela Foundation. We loved it. We also told you that Nigeria's women's national team, the senior women's national team, the D Tigers in basketball, they will not be coming back to Lagos again. We were expecting them in Lagos as they wrap up preparations for the World Championships in Spain. But the Nigeria Basketball Federation says, due to logistics reasons, they cannot come to the country. We just want to wish the Tigers all the best. Whatever the case, we love them so much and we hope that they do well at the World Championships. Let's play some rugby now. I told you it's a tough one, so be ready. Rugby Africa has confirmed that 10 countries will feature at the 7th Championships in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire from September the 15th to the 16th. Rugby fans, put it down. Information that you can use. Rugby Africa, they have confirmed 10 countries will take part at the 7th Championships in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, 15th to 16th of September this year. The countries, who are they? Nigeria, Algeria, Burkina Faso, the Republic of Benin, and of course, the host Cote d'Ivoire. Others are Guinea, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, and Togo. Mali are the current title holders since the 2016 edition in Togo. The new rugby board in Nigeria, they've been rolling out a lot of programs. We feel the passion. So with competitions as these, customers will be able to assess them and see how serious they are.
Yes, certainly. I mean, with the kind of way they're trying as much as possible to get competitions, involve the national team, trying as much as possible to get rugby down to the grassroots. Certainly, Nigeria rugby will be better for it. During the break, we were talking about how the lesser sports have been suffering because of the fact that many of the younger generations they do not understand the essence of this sport. But with competitions like this, especially when the competitions are basically in the limelight, of course, in the faces of people, it would actually make sense for people to understand what rugby is. Now, for people that are the fans of American football, you can bring that as well into rugby because, yes, two sports that are very similar, and it will actually help. Now, Nigeria will be participating with 9 other countries in Ivory Coast, and hopefully they'll be able to do well. And hopefully the Nigeria Rugby Federation will try as much as possible to keep, bringing out programs that would enhance the sport, and hopefully the grassroots as well will be beneficial for it.
That's right. So, rugby in Nigeria. It's been a bumpy ride, but slow and steady they will get there. The Super Eagles of Nigeria in football, it is the Black Stallions of Nigeria in rugby. So know your rugby for Nigeria. So the Black Stallions, they're not doing so badly, but we know the work that has been done to rugby in Uganda, in Namibia, in Kenya, even Swaziland. Don't even call South Africa. Don't go closely. So we need to do a lot of work. But with this 7th Championships in Cote d'Ivoire, it's a good test for the Black Stallions. I want to wish them all the best, and for the Rugby Federation of Nigeria to also keep doing what they can to develop the sports. Let's talk about the heavyweights. Football in Nigeria lately. If you talk about football in Nigeria, you need to look closely and understand where you are taking it from. But the good news, last week, we're under a lot of tension. What's going to happen by Monday, 12 noon? Will FIFA ban Nigeria for failing to recognize Amaju Pinnick and his board as the legitimate leadership of the Nigeria Football Federation? We got a letter from FIFA. Thank you, FIFA, by the way, for not banning Nigeria. But football fans, let's get this conversation going. We've just opened a thread on our social media platforms. So now that FIFA didn't ban Nigeria, does it mean the crisis are gone? Is it all over? That's what I want to hear from you. So talk to us on Twitter, channels_sports, Facebook, channels IFA Sports. We want to know what's going on with football administration in Nigeria. But there is a letter from FIFA signed by the Secretary General, Fatma Samura. It says, follow up on the decision of the Bureau of the FIFA Council. The Bureau of the FIFA Council is the big boys, the president, the first vice president, second, all of them, they come together and they make a decision. If that council say it's all over for you, it's done. Cosmos, the letter says, okay, we got your own correspondence, and in your correspondence, Nigeria, you told us that Amaju Pinnick and his board, they are back. You've given them the right to the offices, and they are in charge, and that's why FIFA will not ban Nigeria. Cosmos, is this the end of the crisis?
Well, the crisis have not particularly been nipped in the bud, but it is a temporary respite for the crisis. We do know that the crisis is still there. Of course, this morning I heard that a letter purported from the Barrister Chris Giwa faction, reading to Nigeria that there are still issues, and talking about the fact that certain persons, not particularly the federal government of Nigeria, we are the ones that came out with the news yesterday that Amaju Pinnick is supposed to be back, that is not supposed to be the president. But then it has been nipped in the bud, and right now Nigeria can be able to focus, but then the problem still exists. The problem of the fact that there is the sovereign law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria versus the Swiss law enshrined in the FIFA statute,
which Nigeria signed on.
Which Nigeria signed on to.
Yeah.
Now, yes, as much as basically the fact of whatever had happened on August 26th and of course on the 30th of September in 2014, these 2 dates, we know about the fact and everything, and of course everything that happened. Yes, there is an issue, there's a crisis. How will it be solved? And that is the thing. We heard that delegation from the federal government should we be visiting FIFA pretty soon, talk about all these issues. But so far, so good. Right now, we do know, I think that's a letter. Yeah. Right now, we do know that Amaju Pinnick has gone back as a president. Is the one that is being recognized as FIFA's president, and of course Mohamed Sanusi as the general secretary. Now, let's make sure that how can we resolve this issue finally? And that is just the thing. Now, the federal government has come out to say that, okay, we're supporting this. Now, if peradventure another government comes in next year and decide that, no, the laws of the land have to be, what will happen then? So how do we resolve this issue quickly?
It gets deeper and deeper when you try to understand it. But that's FIFA's office in Zurich. They said, look, it's Amaju Pinnick and his board that we know give them back the authority, or Nigeria will be out. We did what FIFA wanted, and so the Amaju Pinnick board is back. You know what? Let's go on a short timeout. Tana Ejino has been busy with the Salah celebration. It's just standing by. We'll go on a short timeout. When we come back, we'll still talk more on all of these issues coming out of football administration in Nigeria. So don't go anywhere. Stay.